What's up, everybody? Happy new league year. Not officially yet. Got 2.5 minutes until the new league year starts. The old league year was fun, brought us many good memories. This is the last 2-minute period that Jimmy Garoppolo is a 49er. A lot of other guys, too. A lot of other players. They are still officially 49ers as I speak right now. But when that new league year starts at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern, they'll no longer be 49ers. I even got a tweet ready right now. Happy new league year. A minute and a half or so. And I'm going to put that up on the screen too. Happy new league year when we get there. But I can't do it early. Have to wait a little bit. Wanted to ring it in with everybody. So we're live for the new league year. Everybody give us a sub. Give us a like in celebration. 49ers, by the way, it's up on your screen. They signed the former Raider, Clelin Ferrell. So a Raider, or is it right there? That's a Raiders jersey. That's Shane Leckler has turned into a 49er from the silver and black to the red and gold. Fitting that we got a Raiders and a 49ers jersey up there. We're going to replace Leckler in a little bit with Rudy from Notre Dame. Be back to Rudy in a second. Last minute of the old league year. The new league year is coming up. Last minute of Jimmy Garoppolo's tenure as a 49er. Last minute of Sansom Ebucom's tenure as a 49er. Mike McGlinchey's tenure as a 49er. Stuff is about to end. I'm about to tweet Happy New League Year. I'm about to put it up on the screen as well. We got a few more seconds. I should have had a second clock ready. Should have had a countdown for this. 2:59 p.m. Central Time here. 12:59 Pacific. And we are... This is taking a while. Come on, clock. Change. I want the new league year to be here. I totally miscalculated this in my head. Thought that we were... Oh, here we are. Happy new league year. Tweets out. We made it, guys. We made it through a very, very eventful 2022 league year. And now we're on to the 2023 league year. A lot of memories in 2022. A lot of memories. It started with Jimmy Garoppolo watch all off season. Jimmy Garoppolo throwing off on a side field while the 49ers are having conducting training camp. Ups and downs from Trey Lance at training camp. Then the big Garoppolo re-signing surprise that shocked essentially everybody. Then the 49ers went through their season, which obviously featured a lot of quarterback injuries. They went through Lance, Garoppolo, and Brock Purdy. Ended with Josh Johnson also getting hurt in Philadelphia, but it was a nice 10-game win streak for the 49ers. The Christian McCaffrey trade happened in the 2022 league year. It was great. I mean, it was, if you liked entertainment, I mean, the whole Deebo Samuel situation, right? All that contractual drama leading up into training camp. How can you forget about that? All leading up here into this 2023 new league year. What can we expect moving forward? Well, the 49ers' last move of 2022, at least last publicized one, is right up on the screen there. There's Clelin Ferrell. I think he's tackling Christian McCaffrey. He was teammates with Christian McCaffrey now. Pick up the Raiders defensive end, Clelin Ferrell. Former first-round draft pick, number 4 overall in 2019. 2 picks after Nick Bosa. Bosa was number 2 overall. This is the Chris Kocurek development path. I'm sure the 49ers have a defined role for Clelin Ferrell. He had 10 sacks in 3 years with the Raiders. And now the 49ers believe that they can turn him around just like Arden Key, the 3rd-round pick of the Raiders, who was a first-round talent, only had 3 sacks in 1 year. 49ers signed him in 2021. Arden Key delivered 6.5 sacks in 1 season, got paid by Jacksonville, actually just got paid by Tennessee yesterday. So it's all out on the table, isn't it? This is a situation where Chris Kocurek has gotten guys paid before, and the 49ers, they opened this new league year under the salary cap by about $8 million. That could be our first update. Clelin Ferrell is going to command a couple million, though, so I got to factor that in there. Edge rushers, they usually go for a little bit of money, so we might say $3 million on this contract for Ferrell. We'll say 3 to 4 million. So the 49ers probably have about 5 million after the move that's up on your screen. Jacoby Brissett expected to sign with the Washington Commanders. That is our first league-wide league year news. But this project, Clelin Ferrell, is going to be exciting for the 49ers because the other projects that Chris Kasarik have dealt with, all of whom signed yesterday, right? Charles Amenahu, Arden Key, who came from the Raiders, and Sansa Mebucom came from the Rams. All of them got paid $8, $9, $10 million annually yesterday. This is a good spot to come if you're a defensive lineman. John Lynch talked about at the Combine. The 49ers have developed the reputation of being the turnaround team at the defensive line position with Chris Kasarik. So anyway, happy new league year. 49ers have made their first signing. Why don't we make our first roster check-in of this new league year? Let's start having some fun breaking down what the 49ers are going to do moving forward. Because I can guarantee you that there will not be a dull moment. This is what covering the 49ers entails. So this is what it looks like. 49ers to open here 2023. They have 56 of their 90 roster spots filled. That means that they're still going to need to make 34 acquisitions. They have 11 draft picks. The defensive line room looks a little bit better with Ferrell in the mix. But remember, at one point last year, they were carrying 14 defensive linemen. One of those was DeForest, so he didn't count because he was planning to step away. But the 49ers were planning to cut him because he wasn't coming back anytime soon. So maybe 13. That means there's, I would say, 4 more spots left in this D-line room on the 90-man roster. Before this Ferrell signing, I said the 49ers would be going budget along the defensive line. The tea leaves had said that. The tea leaves were correct. They might go budget again. They might use a couple of draft picks on the D-line. They have 11 of them. Still waiting for the 49ers to turn a little bit more attention to the offensive line with about $5 or $6 million of cap space to play with right now. That is obviously something they can do with budget rotational players. You might try to find somebody who can compete for right tackle, but again, in free agency, that can be expensive. Right now, you have Colton McKivitz and Jalen Moore there. Other positions, you probably save a draft pick for safety. You probably save a draft pick for tight end. And of course, you have your quarterbacks in Lance, Purdy, and Darnold. If you want to add a fourth QB, that's probably going to be a rookie through the draft. So that's what it's looking like right now as this new league year has gotten underway. I think Mike sent me something. No, he didn't. He said, okay, cool. So I'm going to be awaiting your questions now, and we'll go from there. New haircut today. How to look fresh for the first day of the new league year. High and tight. High and tight. All right, go to the comment section, see what's going on, and start answering some questions. Vic Ferrari wants the 49ers to draft the top kicker available. We'll see what the deal with Robbie Gold's going to be. See if they might re-sign him. That might still be a thing. Although money is in short supply for the 49ers right now. I don't know about Kamoko Toure. He didn't really play all that much last year, and what he did wasn't all that productive. I think, he could be a back end of the roster guy, but the 49ers might want to shoot a little bit higher right now. We're not that far into free agency yet. I would say we're in between the second and third waves of free agency. Biggest hole left, offensive line. This is a Mike's question. I think unquestionably it's O-line, nickel back. What are they going to do at nickel? Are they going to go rookie? How are they going to replace Jimmy Ward at nickel? Is it going to be Womack? Are they going to find another corner and are they going to kick Diamaro Lenore inside? Options right now are limitless. Is Dante Johnson coming off an ACL going to rejoin the roster for the 58th time? All type of things that we will find out over the course of the next few months. Spider-Man wants the link to the roster. Yes, I will get you the link to the roster. Hope Cooper thinks that the line is the biggest hole. So you want the 90-man roster, huh? You ask and you shall receive. Tip is cool too, so I appreciate you. Thank you. Copying and pasting the roster link into the comment section right now so you can follow along there. Go ahead and check that out. So, if you want to look at the roster with me, this is what it looks like. You can see there's still a lot of empty threads in this roster, empty cells, I guess I should say, in this roster. Jordan Elliott's posting tape of Clelin Ferrell. Maybe we could watch one of the clips. Yeah, Mike sent it to me. Why not? Why don't we watch them all 22 right now? Why don't we get this up on the screen? 1 second. It's a lot of navigating I have to do here. So Ferrell can play both outside and inside. And that's obviously, Jordan's talking about that. That's something that the 49ers have benefited from in reclamation projects past. And now they're going to try to benefit from it again here. Let's watch him playing against the Texans here, working against right guard. Yeah, that right guard interior rush. I mean, enough power to create the quarterback pressure against Davis Mills. We'll replay it. Was this a sack? Did Mills not get rid of the football? Oh, yeah, that is a sack. That's a sack for Clelin Ferrell. So the fact that he can play inside is big. That Houston O-line was a hole on that play. The fact that he can play inside is big. The fact that he's a good run stopper is big. Low-key, the 49ers have lost a good run stopper in Sansa Mebucom. They have moved to Javon Hargrave, who's an excellent pass rusher, but a little sketchier against the run. The 49ers were the number one run defense in football last year. They want to keep it that way because part of the way that you generate sacks is earning the right to rush the passer. And that means stopping the run. So that's going to be a big deal for the 49ers. Appreciate you, Niner Power. Thank you for superb coverage. Oh, the best in the country. I love that. Thank you. Appreciate you. 35-year season ticket holder. Good stuff. Hope Cooper says the 49ers should move up in the draft to get a right tackle. Well, nobody's a sure thing. That's the thing. And the higher up in the first round you are, the better chance you have of drafting a sure thing. So I think they should move up in the draft to get a tackle for sure, or at least draft a tackle. Maybe don't move up, but you've got to facilitate competition, right? McKivitz has given you enough to say, okay, you can compete for the job. I don't think he's given you enough to give him the job on March 15th. Chances of picking up Yannick Ngakoue. How much money does he want? They've got roster room. Cap space is the issue, but I mean, he's still been a productive player, even at an advanced age. Maurice Hurst for depth. I mean, you got to stay along with that Raiders team, right? There's a reason we got a Raiders jersey in the background right now because the 49ers love to pick up Raiders every year. They actually put it up there because Jimmy Garoppolo went to the Raiders. How about that trade? Jimmy Garoppolo going one way, Clelin Ferrell coming the other way to the 49ers. But anyway, we got the Leckler jersey. We got the Frank Gore jersey. They're both signed, by the way. Gift from my best friend and the framing from my fiance. But the Raiders one actually says "Just Win, Baby" on it. Shane Leckler actually signed it. It says "Just Win, Baby." Pretty cool. Frank Gore, legend. Can't argue with Frank Gore, can you? I'm sure the 49ers will have scouts at Jake Hayner's Pro Day. It's an easy drive from the Bay Area. All those scouts, those guys live on the road regardless, so not as big of a deal for them. They are based, though, in the Bay, especially the pro scouts are based in the Bay. It's a tough job driving around, flying around the country. The tight end market hasn't started moving yet because, the word is that this tight end class in the draft is the best ever, best in at least several years. And because of that, tight ends, the actual veterans in the NFL, ones already in the league, aren't getting paid. Now, the defensive end class, maybe it started to move a little bit, but only with 49ers-related players. Yesterday, you saw Menahu go, you saw Ebukam go, and you saw Arden Key go. Today, you saw Ferrell go. But, you're still waiting for Jadeveon Clowney. You're still waiting for Ngakoue. Some of those more recognizable defensive end names haven't gone yet. So it's going to be interesting to see when that starts moving. Got another video. Mike sending us good stuff. Ferrell working against against who? Is he working against Travis Kelce, you said? I think that's no, he's working against Andrew Wiley. He's working against the right tackle of the Chiefs. No, am I looking at I'm going to put this up on the screen. Oh, no, he is working against Travis Kelce. Oh, I was looking at the wrong side. Wasn't the most impressive rep, but it'll be worth playing on the screen. Yeah, Ferrell's 99. Wonder if he's going to wear 99 for the 49ers. If Javon Kinlaw's still on the team, he has that number right now. But everything's a big if at this point. All right, let's put this up on the screen. Video file. Recent downloads. Here we go. Right side of your screen. We know that a tight end can't block him. Like I said, rather unremarkable play, but we'll take the film when we can get it here on the channel. Clelin Ferrell working against the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, your questions are all welcome. 49ers doing their best to field a deep roster with limited cap space. And they've already added Javon Hargrave, too. That's one of the reasons why the cap space is limited. Oh, you thought it was a Deion Sanders jersey? Well, I know it's blurry because of the cinematic mode, but that writing, you could tell, I think. I'm looking at it right now on my screen behind me. That writing, it's blurred, or you could tell it's only 4 letters. I mean, if I look back here, I see Gore easily 21, but it is not a Deion Sanders jersey. It's a Frank Gore jersey. You have a couple franchise greats, Deion Sanders and Deion Sanders and Frank Gore, who have both worn the 2-1. Yeah, exactly. You could tell it's 4 letters. Well, Darnold was on IR last year for a lot of the year. But other than that, I don't think the injury history has been terrible for Sam Darnold. I think it's more a matter of the 49ers protecting their quarterbacks, which is why I think offensive line needs to be the next big focus for this football team moving forward. No, I can't imagine the 49ers trading Lamar Jackson. I think it's a lot of people that are bored trying to toss some stuff out there. The 49ers just aren't financially set up for something like that right now. They're trying to keep the rest of the roster strong. And Lamar Jackson, you speak of injured quarterbacks, he's finished the last 2 seasons unavailable. You're correct. Deion Sanders never wore that particular jersey. They wore the throwbacks that season. This is a later jersey. This was the Frank Gore era. 49ers no longer wearing that one either. No, I highly doubt the 49ers will pick up Darius Slay, another player who would be too expensive for them. Yeah, what about the offensive line? I think the 49ers do need to pick up some offensive linemen. I do think the 49ers would really like to add some tight ends, or at least one tight end, and I think they might be waiting for the draft. It's been Kyle Shanahan's dream to pair tight ends with George Kittle. Austin Hooper, if you could get him at a good price, be a nice veteran pickup for the 49ers. Has paired with Kyle Shanahan before in Atlanta back in 2016. Yes, Orlando Brown Jr. is available, but that would be a hell of a lot of money. Again, we can go to the 49ers cap situation. Get it up on the screen for you. I have my whole salary cap sheet, as you know. 49ers 2023 salary cap. Here we go. $5 million. And I'm estimating right now for Clelin Ferrell, $3 million. Have everything else in there. Restructure for Warner. Restructure for Charvarius Ward. 2 restructures so far. Can they restructure somebody else like Christian McCaffrey? Sure. They're not going to touch that until they have to. They're going to need about $9 million to fit all the draft class if the entire draft class makes the 53-man roster. But the main thing is the 49ers are cap compliant right now, and they need to be because the new league year has started. And they continually add players. We can also look at this right here. This is the list of 49ers free agents who have left or stayed. You can watch that on the tracker. I know I just shared the link to this 49ers depth chart, but you also have a free agency tracker underneath it. Yeah. The problem with the 49ers is outside of Nick Bosa, the guys that they draft along the defensive line have not become stars yet. They're hoping for Drake Jackson to become a star. Solomon Thomas obviously didn't work out. He was drafted number 3 overall. Kinlaw, 12 overall, hasn't worked out yet. But Kasarik is certainly good at taking these reclamation projects from other teams, bringing them in, and making it work for the 49ers. And that's what you have to do when you have limited cap space. That's how the 49ers operate. I went through their 5 pillars of operation earlier today. This move to go ahead and grab Clelin Ferrell on the cheap is certainly part of that. You've got to develop, then you turn them around for comp picks. The key, not the key signing, but the other 2 signings yesterday of defensive linemen, Ebukam and Charles Amenahu, really good for the 49ers compensatory formula because both of those guys are making a lot of money. So you replenish through the comp formula. You don't replenish by paying guys after you've developed them. You only pay them if they become true A-listers for you. So you try to build a roster filled with A-listers and buoyed by developmental talent on affordable deals. That's the ecosystem in which a team can live. So Arden Key, affordable deal. Now they hand him over to the player development, to the coaching staff, and they see if they could maximize the efficiency of that affordable deal. Eric Wright wore number 21 also. Yes, he did. Big interception against Troy Aikman. Oh, no, not Eric. No, that was Eric Davis. Eric Wright was in the 80s. Eric Wright had a share of big interceptions as well. But Eric Davis was on the same team as Deion Sanders. What number was ED? Deion was number 21, obviously, in that season. I've never done a darkness retreat. Sounds kind of cool. Maybe for a day, though. 4 days would be excessive. 49ers might cut somebody, but it would be a less prominent player. I don't see a prominent cut coming up, except for, I mean, even Javon Kinlaw, you'd lose money because he's fully guaranteed. So I don't see that. You want to know the 5 pillars of the 49ers? Well, maybe I could open them for you. Give me a second here. We could talk about it on this show. Hopefully, if I could find it. It's a video on my channel that I uploaded a couple hours ago. And I need to maybe open recent files. That might be the way to get it. Yep, we got it here. Why don't we get this open up on the screen? Let's talk about the 5 pillars. Since you asked, I will deliver. Here, I got, StreamYard, this is supposed to be easy software. Sometimes it overwhelms me until it doesn't, until I get this up there. So you asked, I delivered. Here we go. The 5 pillars of the 49ers building strategy. 1, acquire and develop A-list players and undervalued B-listers. 49ers just did that. We're on step 1 right now with Clelin Ferrell. He's an undervalued, potential B-lister, undervalued player. They believe they think they can develop him. And I'll talk about that development later in this list. Number 2, as you develop A-list players or develop any players, determine who the A-listers to hold on to are and don't pay, number 3, the B-listers. So the salary cap's going to grow every single year. So your core of stars can get larger and larger, which it has for the 49ers over the years. But the key is to not go and overpay for guys who do not fit into that A-list category, because you can get compensatory picks by NFL rule in return for players who sign elsewhere in free agency. While you're doing that, make sure that you're developing your staff. That not only restocks the coaching staff when coaches leave, but also make sure that you are developing players, because coaches are directly responsible for that. You can also get more compensatory picks through the minority hiring process if your coaches are hired for promotions elsewhere. Same applies to executives. Finally, pick up the next A-listers and developmental projects with the capital that you have, the compensatory draft capital or the financial capital that's there because your comp picks have hit. And then the cycle starts all over again. So last night, when a bunch of players left the 49ers, signed elsewhere, you saw number 3. It was the 49ers not paying B-listers. No reason to freak out. And, with an addition like Clelin Ferrell, you're seeing number 1 at work. And all of these are going to be at work sometimes simultaneously, because you're always doing, addressing different parts of the roster. NFL rosters are complicated beasts. So to answer your question, that is the 49ers building strategy, and we could keep it up there for your reading pleasure. This is the new league year show. Hargrave is an A-lister, yes. So what is that? Number 1? That's number 1. Acquire an A-list player. They acquired an A-list player. The 49ers broke from this trend when they didn't re-sign DeForest Buckner, who I think was an A-list player as well. What they did is they tried to cheat it a little bit. They said, hey, we can replace Buckner with another A-list defensive tackle, Javon Kinlaw. We believe that he's got the tools to do that. He might have the tools to do that, but injuries also took over after that. So that was a little bit of a misstep for the 49ers in that they didn't find the right replacement. I've always said the process of the trade was fine, but the replacement wasn't, or hasn't been yet, with Javon Kinlaw. And they were trying to go A-list for A-list, and it didn't work, and they ended up losing a little steam up front. They didn't move Eric Armstead inside to really pick up some of the slack for DeForest Buckner until later in the 2021 season. But every single move can be framed within the context of this 5-step process for the 49ers. I think Parag is the mastermind of the finances. I think this is a Shanahan Lynch collective thing. And, this is just something that I've gathered. I know Shanahan. I know Lynch. I know Adam Peters. I've covered this team ever since they came aboard. I'm entering season number 7. So, and you guys know that I get deep into the weeds when it comes to the salary cap. And I wrote a big article yesterday on the interesting techniques that Parag Marathe is using to structure some of these deals, fit guys under the cap. I think that I'm as good of observer as any to discuss what the 49ers overarching strategy is. And this is what I came up with. Designed by Mike, the graphic is. Obviously, he did a better job than I would designing it. But intellectual property is mine. This is what I came up with as far as the 49ers team building strategy. So Armstead and Buckner are a little bit different cases because the 49ers current regime inherited both of them. Armstead came aboard in 2015. Buckner came aboard in 2016, both in the first round of the NFL draft. So you're working with what you inherited, which is why I think the 49ers didn't have the same type of emotional attachment to Buckner as they would another first-round pick who was an A-lister, right? They thought they could replace him with Javon Kinlaw. They recognized the A-list importance of that defensive tackle position. They just didn't recognize the importance of DeForest Buckner. And hey, it might all work out for the better now for the 49ers because Javon Hargrave is a better pass rusher than DeForest Buckner. Armstead, he came in to this regime's tenure not having lived up to his draft status, but he has since lived up to his draft status. So Armstead is now an A-lister. Is there a chance they move on from him next offseason? Only if he plays his way out of A-list status or if he's injured out of A-list status. Because this team is trying to stockpile as many really quality A-list defensive linemen as possible. I know that the 49ers are purchasing more and more of a share of Leeds United. And if they get a London game this coming fall, they might be able to go check out their English football club. Parag, the financial mastermind. Or are you talking about me? The financial mastermind. I love that. Thanks, Mike. Probably not talking about me, by the way, but it's all good. I actually do see the 49ers re-signing Robbie Gould. That's my bold prediction, that Robbie Gould is just bluffing and the 49ers will re-sign him. This is true. Buckner would not have won the 49ers a Super Bowl. The process of the move was fine. The process allowed the 49ers to sign 2 other guys, including Jimmy Ward, who they've really needed. It was the outcome and the acting on the outcome of the pick that came in Javon Kinlaw that has not been as good for the 49ers. Gold is good. Good as gold. Or gold is gold. Both. Read that wrong twice. Unbelievable. A $45, it's a lobster sandwich. And you could only afford it if you make the money. So it was $42, by the way. And, you know, the going rate for a lobster roll in San Francisco, of all places, is going to be well over $30. And then I'm sitting in the rotunda atop Neiman Marcus. So, of course, I'm going to be paying more than $40. You pay for the atmosphere as well. I don't think I got a horrible deal there. Really nice place. Fast Wi-Fi, by the way. I'm probably the only person ever to take their laptop into the rotunda at Neiman Marcus. Awesome view, rainy day. They're treating me like gold. They brought a free appetizer. They're bringing me tea, coffee, whatever I need. And I get an awesome, awesome sandwich. They did not shortchange me. They didn't cheat me with the lobster, with the avocado or the lobster on the sandwich. I was happy with it. We got some news right now. Let me type it in. Drum roll, please, for the news. 49ers free agency tracker, 49ers Q&A. Let me type this in. Drum roll building. Drum roll building. Still building. Here's your news. The 49ers did not tender linebacker Demetrius Flanagan-Foles. He's free to negotiate with other teams because the new league year is here. Unrestricted free agency has begun. So the 49ers kept all of their restricted free agents except for Demetrius Flanagan-Foles. I'll put it up on the screen here for you. We have the running list. The restricted free agents are down at the bottom in yellow, and then the exclusive rights free agents, Juwan Jennings. Kevin Givens stayed. Colton McKivitz stayed. Juwan Jennings is going to stay. He just hasn't signed his tender yet, but they have tendered him, and he can't go anywhere else as an ERFA. Demetrius Flanagan-Foles, not tendered. My prediction is that he was going to leave. My prediction there will very, very likely be correct. Green means correct predictions. Red or pink means incorrect prediction. I've been wrong on Emmanuel Mosley, but that's about it. So nothing really unexpected. No reason to freak out about the 49ers departures in this season. Maybe I'll make a video about that coming up a little bit later. But Matt Barrows reports the 49ers did not tender Demetrius Flanagan-Foles as was expected. I'll retweet Matt Barrows. ers Oren Burks for that third linebacker role. And they recently re-signed Marcelino McCrary Ball, who is an intriguing developmental prospect who can also potentially handle Flanagan Foles special teams duties. By the way, if you don't follow me on Twitter, It's at Lombardi himself. That's where I'm at. The improvement index, the 49ers, according to the improvement index here at this spot in free agency, have lost some effectiveness as a team. But the good news is that Mike just sent it to me. The good news for the 49ers is that they still have 34 roster spots to make up for that and get better. There's still a lot of work to do. Any definitive judgment on team quality at this point is premature. All right, nice, good 35-minute show. Hope everybody is having a good afternoon. 49ers did not tender Demetrius Flanagan-Foles. We got some news on the show. We also talked about Clelin Ferrell, who's the 49ers are going to try to turn him into the next Chris Kasarik reclamation project. And I also was able to wish you a happy new league year. It is here. The 49ers are under the cap. At the start of this show, Jimmy Garoppolo was still a 49er. At the end of this show, he is not. That's kind of how things work when the new league year begins. He's now a Raider. All right, everybody take care. Thanks for joining. We'll talk to you very soon.